Welcome to EntreProgrammers Podcast, the podcast for developreneurs, where you get to be a fly on the wall listening to real conversations of developers trying to tackle the challenges they face as entrepreneurs.
Hey, John Sonmez here. Just want to take a second to tell you about a tool that I am really excited about. I've recently switched all of my email marketing over to a tool called Drip, and I couldn't be happier. I created a course, an email course, about how to create a blog that boosts your career, and so far I've gotten a ton of signups from it, way more than I expected. Not only that, but the engagement level of the people that are signing up is huge, and then at the end of the course, I'm getting big conversion rates, which is something that I really need in order to sell my products, and this is something that's extremely helpful to any entrepreneur, entrepreneur out there. The reason why Drip works so well is because it's specifically built for bootstrappers. It's email marketing for bootstrappers, and this is really why I switched over and why I'm finding it so effective. If you want to get started with Drip, you can get started today. Just go to getdrip.com/entreprogrammers. Once again, that's getdrip.com/entreprogrammers. And when you sign up, you can get an email mini course created for you. They'll actually do this for you. So if you're not sure how to do this, if you have a few blog posts or an ebook, they can get that started for you, which makes it super simple, and you can start getting those benefits today and not tomorrow. They also have all the kind of marketing automation rules that you would want, tagging, much better than a lot of the other major automation players, and they integrate with things like Stripe, PayPal, Leadpages, Chargeify, Gumroad, tons of great features in there. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Go to getdrip.com/entreprogrammers. Take care.
We're live.
All right.
Cue the applause.
Okay, let's everybody assume your roles. Let's make make up a bunch of fake stuff to talk about this week.
All right. So my fake thing to talk about is a fake financial crisis that I'm not going through. That's that's what it is. Right. So asking for a friend. Let's say somebody was in $25,000 of credit card debt. How would you get out of that? Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny because the number you're throwing out is really close to the number that my friend has.
Interesting. I know this loan shark.
Yeah.
10% interest rate, such a deal. Like
totally.
10% per month. Like it's just awesome.
10% a day. Awesome.
His name is Vince DeLeon. You guys haven't met Vince DeLeon. That's John's alter ego.
Yeah.
So one thing I have listened in the past, don't currently listen to, Dave Ramsey. He's a financial guy on the radio. Yep. And one thing I noticed when I was listening to that show is that people tended to have the stories that would come out were the same with different amounts of zeros on the end.
Right.
So like if you make $100,000, like people tend to overspend by about like 25%, 25% of their budget. And so like somebody making $500,000 would be calling and crying to him about how they have $200,000 in debt.
Right.
And somebody making $50,000 would have $5,000 in debt, and it was the same. It's just an interesting pattern.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm pretty much a statistical dead center.
So the key is, obviously, and this is something I wrote about in Soft Skills. I have a whole chapter dedicated to debt. Because it's such a bad thing. You have to eliminate the debt before you do anything else, because it's backwards leverage.
It totally is.
But because it's actually working against you. So what I would say is that what you've got to basically figure out is this is it takes some serious fortitude to do this, but this has to be kind of the number one, I think, at this point for you. That's what I would recommend. And so I would say that, for the first thing that I suggested this on our email group is, what is the thing that can make you the most money as fast as possible, so that you can just pour that towards debt.
Right, and I really think that the Backbone JS course for Prog is that thing. You had suggested going full time with my one consultant, and I can't do that. The contract that I have with them limits me to 80 hours a month. I'm not putting in 80 hours a month. I could increase. I'm putting in an average of around 60 hours a month, so I can increase the amount of time that I'm doing with them, and I actually really need to because of project deadlines that we have. So I can start with that. That's and get myself an extra couple $1,000s a month right there. But it's not going to be sufficient just to do that. I'm stopping a lot of spending. I've already cut $165 a month out of monthly expenses, including getting rid of Baremetrics again, which seriously made me nauseated canceling that. I'm going through withdrawal symptoms, having canceled my Baremetrics account and my Rdio music subscription. Both of those.
Those are still kind of small fish, I think.
I know that's the problem. Yeah. I'm running into all of these things. I'm looking at all these services, and I'm going, wow, I can save $10. Yay!
I have to say, though, one other thing, and this came up before the show when we were chit-chatting a little bit, is that my wife and I, we sat down and we were getting ready to put together a budget, and we got this program called YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget.
Right.
And what you do is you import your bank statement in, and then you categorize everything. And it was pretty surprising. I mean, we were spending like $300 eating out every month.
Yeah, I have tried countless number of financial planning budget apps like that, including Mint.com and the old school Microsoft Money, and I haven't tried YNAB yet, and it claims to be different. But the problem that I have with those things is that you have to categorize everything, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Mint does a pretty good job of categorizing stuff for you once you
get it. It got about 25% of my stuff, and then
once you do it manually, you can set it up so that it will automatically recognize things and categorize going forward.
That must be something new, because back when I was using Mint, it wouldn't do that at all.
So YNAB does the same thing. So after I've categorized Walmart for the 10th time as groceries, it just goes in as groceries.
Right.
So I've gone back and forth on it a little bit. I used to have a budget. I've had budgets. I've set up schemes. I don't have a budget now, and I don't keep a budget because I find that it's more like I try to do the bigger impact things, right? If it's like if you get to a point where your checking account just always has money in it, then you don't have to. So it's like, can we get there to get to that? I guess I take more of the philosophy of like. What's his name? Ramit Sethi.
Yeah. Basically earn your way out of it. Don't worry about not buying lattes. If you have good earning potential, which we all do, right? And most of the people listening to the show do, then it's a lot better to spend your time, to spend hours, throw hours into things that are going to make you $100 an hour or $200 an hour versus trying to, you could spend 6 hours going through Mint and categorizing every little thing, and that might help you trim $50. $50.
I spent a week in Mint.
It's much easier to do this. So here's the thing. This is kind of a funny thing. So my little sister had problems with finance and stuff, and I said, okay, well, I could totally fix your problem. You gotta live with me. You gotta live by my rules, which was definitely not, but
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Well, no kidding. But here's the thing.
5 a.m. up. We're going to the gym now.
I always offer this, and no one ever takes me up on it. But I always say, I will help you. You can live in my house, whatever, to get out of debt. But you have to do exactly what I would do in your situation. Which means you don't have a cell phone, you don't have TV, you go and look for a job every day. I mean, obviously, I'm talking to more bums.
Right.
But you see, so here's kind of the things. I would actually do some really extreme things that are going to have big impacts more than categorizing little things. So I would say, here's a big, huge thing. You're not allowed to eat out at all until you're out of debt. I mean, at all. No exceptions. You're not allowed to do it. You just have to buy groceries and make them and try to even keep your grocery bill as cheap as that. That's a big that has an impact over 4 months to save you thousands of dollars. That's a huge thing. Another big one that I again, these are big things, but they will work. Is is whatever vehicle that you have, and I've done this myself to get out of debt, right? I've sold my car and bought a used car. I sold my $30,000 car or $25,000 car, and I bought a used $5,000 car, and it worked just as well as the $30,000. And I owed like $20 on the $25,000 car. Bam, $5,000 in my pocket, and no payment anymore. So it was like bam, bam. Obviously, I
don't have any car payments.
Okay, so you're but you might be able to. I don't know. I mean, you might be in a position where you could trade your car. I mean, it's a very painful thing to do for an older, cheaper car that would net you like maybe $5 or $10,000 right off of the bat. Or can you get away with less vehicles? I mean, probably not. Well, maybe in your case because you work from home. I have one vehicle.
I have to drive to. I drive to my client office twice a week.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I also have to take my son to therapy a couple times a week, and it's not possible for us to get away with one car.
But can you replace one of your more expensive cars with a very cheap car that might net you $5,000 or $10,000? I don't know what.
They're both cheap cars, a Honda Civic and a Toyota Matrix.
Okay, so you're already in an okay spot. But
the Hummer. I thought we were hoping for a Hummer there.
Yeah, that Porsche that I bought yesterday.
but the eating out might. I mean that. Yeah,
that's a big one right there. I know that one is. I don't know if I can convince my wife to say zero eating out at all, because we did that for a month once, and she wanted to strangle me.
Well, to be fair, I think you were also doing paleo at the time.
Yeah, but the eating out was a part of the problem.
Yeah.
She got really mad at me a number of times because she wanted to get out of the house, go out to eat, and it was really difficult to find a place where I could eat anything at all.
Yeah.
And she got really mad and was upset that she couldn't. There were so many her choices were limited to begin with because she doesn't like to eat meat. She will on occasion, but she doesn't like to. So, I mean, combining my dietary restrictions with her dietary restrictions.
Well, I think we need to caveat this a little bit too, because if you're going to make some of these decisions, definitely she has to be involved. So, and you don't want to just sit down and have her involved by, we're going to do this.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Exactly.
So you're going to have the conversation, make sure that she wants the same things and is willing to sacrifice to get to them.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, getting out of debt and doing it quickly is going to take huge sacrifices. It's going to. It is. But if you're willing to do that, you can do it. I mean, you can be out of debt in a very short period of time. I mean, I haven't looked at your exact numbers, but I would venture to guess that 6 months would be definitely doable to get you $25,000, to get you out of debt. Yeah. And once you're there, then leverage isn't working against you. So that's why I would say, stop everything that you're doing that isn't making you money. Forget about long-term plans, because you've already got a long-term plan that's eating you right now, which is because debt is costing you interest. And just focus on the two things. What are the huge things that you can do to eliminate expenses? Obviously you got to do the minor things like cancel unnecessary things, but the big ones are like no eating out, or like one time a week you're allowed to eat out, or whatever. Big commitments. The things like that. Look for as many of those, and then the big things on the financial side that will earn you more money, which are the things like maximize your hours to the 80 hours for sure, because that's going to be guaranteed income. Go and ask them. Say, hey, look, would you like to have me have extra hours on the I'll work full time for the next couple of months. I'm trying to pay off a debt, and I would do that, or and then again, if that screencast from Prague, if you can knock that thing out and make $10,000 or whatever it is, then that makes sense. Or maybe it makes sense to try and do. Hey, if someone wants to do Backbone, right? You've got a course. You've already got the training material. You've done like a 3-day course. Like if you can, this might be an easy one to just send out to your list, and then make a to do that. Trying to think any of those, but I would.
I was going to say you could also do the same thing in other markets. So there may be a market out here for Backbone training, and so you reach out to these groups that do it.
Yeah, the problem with doing any kind of training class it is going to take me a month of effort to put that together, which I don't have a month of time. I can't pay myself for a month to put that together.
Is that a month of time for a new class, or would even for your existing Backbone class?
I don't have an existing Backbone class.
It's
been 3 years since I've done that.
You'd have to get up to date, basically.
Yeah, I would have to create new material.
Okay, so that's probably not a good thing unless you can figure out a way to make that a quick guaranteed. I've got something here.
Okay, wait. If you did the screencasts though, you're going to have to do a lot of that anyway, right? So you could always roll off the screencast and go right into and try to do a course off of the back of that. If you kept that in mind as you were working on the screencast, that might cut the workload down a lot.
Yeah, one other thing you can do is if it's going to take you, some period of time to put the material together, you can do a series of webinars. So, in other words, instead of doing okay, we're going to do a 2-day boot camp, it's going to be, all right, the first week we're going to cover this, the second week we're going to cover this, third week we're going to cover this, and that way you only have to come up with some of the curriculum at a time.
That's not a bad idea.
And so then you're doing the webinars for your students, and you're prepping for the prog thing, and you're kind of double purposing a lot of the content.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, the prog thing though seems like a fish in a barrel. So
Yeah, and I've got.
How much time would that take you to do?
I don't know. I've got the core application built already. I built that last year. I actually spent couple of months working on this last year, and that's when everything kind of got shot to crap, and this whole problem with my current debt crisis actually started last year, and it was that point in time that I said hold off on the screencast to prog, but I have the core application built. I need to break it down into individual lessons and starting points. So it's like, okay, I've got the end result. This is where we're going to go. Now I need to take that end result back to the beginning so that I can figure out all of the steps along the way. And plan what those steps are.
So here's something interesting. Time to make a challenge here. So I've got an interesting proposition for you. So me and you will talk offline, Derick, and we'll go through your budget and I'll help you figure out total. But I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Okay.
So if you get down from 25, I'll need to see that you're actually at 25. But if you get down,
and I have no qualms showing people my personal financial situation. I mean, I'm not going to share my wife's information, but I'll share mine, no problem.
Okay, so if you get down from 25 to 10, right? If we figure out how to do it and you follow it and you get it down to 10, I will give you an interest-free loan on the 10. So I will pay off the last 10 of your credit card debt and give you an interest-free loan, and you can just pay me something like $1,000 a month or whatever it is until that's paid off. So that will give you an extra boost and an incentive to do this. How's that sound?
I appreciate the offer greatly, but I don't know if I'm willing to accept for two reasons. One, money between friends often ends poorly. It's happened to me a number of times. And two, not having to reduce the debt myself would not necessarily what am I trying to say?
You want to go through the pain so you don't go back?
Yeah, taking somebody else's money does not necessarily teach me the lessons I need in order to stay out of it.
Well, so that's why I'm saying you have to reduce it by 15 on your own first. So that's the thing. And this would be with the caveat is that if you're able to get from 25 to 15, I'm willing to risk 10 grand.
Right.
That you're so that's that you'll get the rest of the way. Because if you can get from 25 to 10 following the advice that we figure out for you, looking at your budget, then I will guarantee that you're gonna get the extra 10, so there's no risk. That would just help accelerate you. I mean, it's up to you. Like I don't want to force it down your throat.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk about that more as we get into my finances later offline.
Okay. But yeah. But no, I think you could totally do this. So
yeah. I just want to jump in with a few things because my wife and I have been paying down debt over the last little while. And when we started, we were about at 23,000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so the reason I keep harping on YNAB is because we put all the information in and we found basically 20% of what we were spending was money we didn't need to be spending.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we identified, like, John said, if you're worried about the latte every day, that's not going to make a big dent. But if you can identify, okay, we're spending $8,000 every month and we can cut $2,000 of it, it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is one thing that really has made a difference for us is that we decided that we were going to go on a family vacation next year. We're going to go on a Disney cruise. And so we've got a picture of a like Disney cruise stuff on the wall, and then underneath it we have the logos of all of our remaining debts.
Right.
Nice.
And the kids see that.
I thought you were going to say like a little like a thermometer, and color it in with magic marker.
Right. So no, not quite. But anyway, anytime we pay one of those off, we gather the kids up and we rip it off the wall and we tear it apart and we have a big to-do and things like that. And then we say, see, we're getting closer, and so basically we're working our way up the thing, and at the very top there is a new car for the family, and then above that is the cruise. And the deal is we have to pay everything off, buy a new car, and then pay cash for the cruise.
Right.
Perfect. That is smart. I like it.
And so every time we walk past it in the hall, it's like, oh, this is what we're after, you know. And everybody kind of has that vision, and everybody's on board with it. Now, there are some other things, obviously, that we want to get out of debt for, just so that we have certain levels of freedom with certain things. We don't have these people hanging over us, or, if we don't get the bill in the mail on time, or we forget to send the payment out on time, we don't have somebody calling us up and going, dude, where's my money?
Right.
So there are things like that as well. But, anyway, so it's just stuff like that. But if you can get everybody on board, your wife and your kids, this is what we're working for, this is what we want, this is the vision, then you can start to create the plan. Okay, this is going to get us the vision. And then whenever we go to the store, the kids are, Dad, can I have a treat? And, we look at them and we go, do you want a treat now, or do you want to go on a Disney cruise next year? I want to go on the Disney cruise. And then,
Right. There you go. Yeah.
So you have very mature children.
Yes. I want both.
But it works. It works really well because then everybody understands. Everybody's on the same page.
Exactly.
And it's not a battle. Oh, you never spend money on me for anything. And then my wife and I, we feel like we can go out on a date every so often.
Yeah.
But as often as not, our dates are, oh, I got a coupon for Redbox, so I'm going to go get a free movie.
Right.
And I'm going to pull something out of the fridge and microwave it, and we're going to spend time together, right?
You microwaved it? Oh, man, when we were in debt, I don't know.
I know.
That ramen noodles. A lot of juice.
Here's a quick one, like that entertainment book you buy for $10. And when I was pinching pennies, we just, every time you go somewhere, like we'd only eat out once a week, but it'd always be a coupon, a 2-for-1 in the entertainment book. So
Right.
But just to add to, like, what you're saying is perfect. I like that. That's an excellent advice. I totally agree with 100% of that. But I did want to add this too, to say that, like, I mean, because some people are probably, I don't know, I mean, maybe you guys are thinking this too, but definitely people are listening are like, oh yeah, John is saying all this stuff, but John makes a whole bunch of money and he's got all this real estate and all this. But I walk the talk for. I mean, you can ask my wife. For a long time, and I detail it in the book to some degree, not in all the details, but I slept on a mattress on the floor in a 2-bedroom apartment in order to save money. I'm talking no cable. I'm talking eating ramen soup and like beans and eggs. To be able to save every penny I was making when I was making like $80,000 or $90,000 a year. Like it was the weirdest thing because I'm like this software engineer making $90,000 a year, sleeping on the floor on a mattress in like a.
Did you live in San Francisco? Because you wouldn't be able to afford that apartment in San Francisco.
We're talking Boise, Idaho. We're talking like where it is cheap to live, like one of the cheaper places to live. On the floor, use $2,000 car, one car between the two of us, biking to work, like never eating out, like, and that was, I mean, I did that sacrifice for a long, long time in order to be able to pay off a bunch of debt, and yeah, so that's, and also just so you guys know, I do have like I am like about $800,000 in debt right now, so.
Mortgages,
but they're mortgages. So,
yeah.
but seriously though, I mean, I just wanted to make it clear that I'm not just spewing out stuff because I hate it when someone's like, oh yeah, you should do this, but they've never been in your situation. I've been totally like, and I've done what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, of all the people that I go to for advice on this kind of stuff, you guys are three people that I actually respect because I believe you when you say that you've gone through these things before and you've done this before, because we've been talking about this stuff for long enough that your stories are at least consistent, so you're at least a really good liar.
I'm not sure if I take it as a compliment or not. You're
really
either telling the truth or you're a good liar.
That's one of those two. Phenomenal liars.
Yeah, but the other thing that I really want to push on is, and this is back to another point that John made, think of just, is there that big thing? Is there something that is reasonably low risk as far as your time and things like that can pay off in a big way,
Mm-hmm.
And it could be the prog thing or it could be something else.
Yeah.
But kind of think outside the box. I mean, the prog thing is an opportunity that you are pretty sure you can land and take advantage of. But is there that some other thing?
Yeah, I actually have a signed contract with prog for this.
Yeah.
Right.
I exercised my right to back out of the work, giving them the ability to pursue other people. But I still have the right to say, hey, if you guys haven't found anybody else, I'd like to pick this up again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not that I need to go land a contract with them. It's just that they need to know that I'm actually going to do it this time so that they will put in the resources, which really comes down to me starting the work, getting my editor to produce some stuff, and sending them the first episode to say, hey, look, I'm back on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying though is just, are there other projects that you're set up nicely for that you can go and nail in a couple of weeks and make $5,000 of your $25,000?
Right.
I think this makes a lot of, like, this is a lot less risky than trying to do a training yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you've got the contract. I mean, that money's there.
Yep.
You just have to do the work. With the class or a course of your own, now you're back to having to market something.
Right. Which is the whole thing that got me into this mess. The half of this debt, probably $12,000 of it, is failed marketing. It's Twitter ads, it's Google ads, it's podcast sponsorships, it's conference sponsorships, it's paying for me to go speak at conferences. There's just a shitload of money that I've thrown down the drain trying to figure out how to market my stuff and failing miserably at it. The other half of it was that giant podcast that ate me out of house and home for 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
There was that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, definitely cut all the marketing, right? Unless it's returning.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say the same thing.
Let's stop paying for advertising.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
No
Exactly.
more paid advertising for Derick.
Which includes
you're cut off.
sponsorships.
Never do paid advertising on a credit card for a lesson, I guess, is the future, right?
And sometimes you don't have a choice with where the money actually comes from when you pay for the advertising, though.
Well,
Never pay for advertising without a budget and an anticipated ROI that you're willing to shut off.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think the main problem here is we're just dumping traffic into a system that's not really not firing on all cylinders.
Right.
So,
and I don't have enough money to be able to continue feeding the funnel to perfect it. That's part of the problem. Like with Signal Leaf.
But see, I want to push back on that a little bit because, with Signal Leaf is one thing, right? But with Watch Me Code, you're getting a decent amount of traffic to that site. I mean, you're getting, between your personal blog and Watch Me Code, you're getting like 3,000 page views a month on Watch Me Code.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get that traffic to convert, even just doubling the conversion that you have now, then you're basically you're no longer losing ground every month.
Yeah.
In terms of, because you'd go from 20 a month to 40 a month, and then you're adding 10 people a month instead of
losing 10.
Instead of losing 30. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Instead of losing 10. I think I agree with John said on the mailing list that it's probably a good idea to talk to some of the people that are quitting. I don't know. Do you guys think?
I do have an email. When they cancel, I send them an email that says, "Hey, sorry to see you go. Would love to hear why." And I get at least one email a week from somebody that's canceling.
Okay.
And every single time, I'm cutting back on my monthly expenses. Every single
Perfect.
time.
That's fine. That's totally fine, because that is not a answer that doesn't have an answer. That's kind of weird to say. But the answer to that is you show them why Watch Me Code is such a good investment that saves them money.
Right.
And I'm not just being a cheesy marketing person by saying that. It honestly does. Like, people do not realize how much investing in your career and your professional development ends up. I mean, this is what I preach through all my stuff, is basically saying, hey, look, you should buy my stuff. You should learn soft skills. You should learn whatever technology and thing, because it's going to make you more money. This is like, don't invest your money on watching TV and paying for cable and all kinds of stupid crap. Instead, invest it on professional development, because that's going to give you a return. So maybe that's the message that you need to emphasize more when people sign up and say, oh, you're doing a really good thing for your career, and maybe some success stories of people who got raises and got better jobs because of that, or landed a contract. That might be something to, like, as you're in your drip sequence for subscribers that are already on your list, that you could kind of combat that and see how that does. Because if you could show someone that this is the thing that they don't need to cut the Netflix, keep this subscription, because the Netflix is costing you money, this one is making you money.
Right.
Yeah. One other thing on that is when you then put a video out. Well, let me back up. So also in the drip sequence, it's like, congratulations for investing in your career, like John's saying, and then call out, so what can we cover in Watch Me Code that we haven't covered that is going to make the difference? Get you that job, get you, solve your problems at work, get you to the point where you look like a genius in front of your boss, because that's what people want. And then when they come back and they say, I've really I've gotten a lot of feedback, or I've seen a lot about, promises, or, something else in JavaScript, right? That, and it's like, and I didn't see a video in there. You can either email them back and say, well, I do have these that talk about promises, but, do you have a particular question? And if they do, then the next video you put out, you can go, okay, so I got an email from James, and, James said that he had this question about promises, so I'm going to show you how this works. What did you do? Well, James is never leaving.
Right.
Because if he has another problem, he's going to email you, and he's going to get basically video trained on it, right?
Right.
But the other thing is the rest of your subscribers feel like, okay, I'm part of a community, and if there's something that I need to learn for my job, then I'm going to get a video from Derick within a few weeks. Right. And all I have to do is email him and say whatever. Now, they'll understand if you're in the middle of a 4-week series, right?
Right.
So you just email him back and say, I'm in the middle of this 4-week series, and I'll, but I plan on addressing this as soon as that's over. And if you need help in the meantime, here are some pointers, and if you have specific questions, let me know. Because then you're also going to get plenty of fodder for your videos. But and then just couch it in that, and just give them tons of great content. And it doesn't necessarily even all have to be focused on Watch Me Code. I mean, if some of it that you're dripping out is, hey, I listened to this episode of the Freelancer Show, and they talked about this, and I think it's applicable to everybody. Or, John wrote this awesome blog post about this aspect of something that he's doing, and I think that you should go check it out. And so you're giving them great things in the meantime, and make your list about what John said, building your career and being better at what you do, instead of about, hey, here's the news about Watch Me Code. Then you're giving them value all the time, and you're engaging them so that they can give you what you need to, again, make Watch Me Code part of that must-have suite of things that take their career off to the next level.
Yeah.
Right.
One thing that's really tough about Watch Me Code is to market it is it's kind of like a conglomeration, right? It's like a bunch of, and we've talked about doing the packages and the modules and stuff, but it's not like this is not a bad thing necessarily, but just by nature it's not very focused. Like there's different topics within it that are focused on, like the series, individual series are pretty focused, but overall, somebody who's interested in one aspect of it might not be interested in another aspect.
Right.
So I think that what you need to do in terms of marketing it is to actually start marketing the pieces. So, and you kind of done this with the Mongoose one, but like, do you have a sense for what your most popular series is?
Right now I don't. Prior to the launching it as a subscription service, it was by far the Fundamentals series that I did.
What is it? Backbone Is it Backbone
no,
or
JavaScript Fundamentals?
Okay. So actually, this course actually leads into that pretty well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that email course is one of my screencast episodes. It's
right.
just rebuilt as text instead of a screencast.
So, but the way that pitch comes across at the end, it's more like kind of like if you want to learn more about JavaScript, right? Like, so if you could like maybe the thing to do would be to put that together as a package again, or at least build a special landing page for it,
right?
And then have your JavaScript this course, head straight into that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that gets you, like, you need to be able to have a focused conversation with people that are kind of at a similar level. And like what I'm doing with my affiliate marketing is, I've got all these I'm spinning off all these little inputs to my funnel, and I can bring people in any way, and I'm gonna have a very focused conversation with them about something that I know they're interested in. Later on, I'll offer them other stuff, but I'm only talking to them about that one thing, and it makes it really easy to pitch.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble pitching it, it's because you don't, it's not focused enough. You haven't niched down enough. So, yeah. So I think like an easy way to start to, like, the one exception I would say to spending money on marketing would be if you're comfortable doing the tweet adder thing. That would be a very cost-effective way for you to start to put some more people into your funnel. So you could, do. I was getting actually the JavaScript. I was following JavaScript developers for a while because I was thinking about doing something JavaScript related, and I was getting good follow-back from them, better than I'm getting now. So you could probably get 20% of the people you follow. So like if you follow 300 a day, that's 60 people a day you'd be adding to your Twitter feed who would be extremely interested in everything you have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then get them into the JavaScript this course, and straight into that fundamentals course, tie them together a little better. And I think that could really work.
Yeah.
And that would be a very relatively low effort for you.
Right.
Like it would be maybe a landing page, and we could help you write that, workshop that a little bit. You get a landing page you'd need to probably want to have a follow-up sequence for the JavaScript this to keep lobbing more content in people, keep them. But yeah, I think that would be a really good way to make efficient use of what you already have, without having to add a bunch of extra work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's something I can do pretty quickly and easily, because that pitch at the end of that email course is pretty wishy-washy, not focused at all.
Yeah, it's like you're selling us. Nobody wants a screencasting service.
Right.
They want like what Chuck was saying. They want to get ahead in their jobs, or they want to solve a specific problem. They don't care about. They don't want to have get screencast updates every week. That's not. Right. Nobody goes looking for that. So you just need to find a way to have that more focused conversation.
Yeah.
Focus on what their needs are.
And I have to say that because I gave a little bit of of drip of drip problems last episode, I think. But now I have to give super drip praise, because the email course has been going nuts for me. It's such an awesome way to engage people and to get conversions. And combined with
I've put 1,700 people through my five rules to master this course.
Wow, nice, yeah, and it's awesome, because people get so engaged with it, and they are so appreciative for the free information that when you do the sell at the end, they're not, they're not at all offended by you doing that, because you've already given them so much value. But yeah, it's pretty awesome, and the funnel doing from the tweet adder is working really well for me. I'm pulling in right now 25 to 30 people a day on my
your email course, right?
Yeah, the blog course, which is mostly coming from Twitter, from the follow, because of who I'm following, some other sources.
How much does Tweet Adder cost?
It's $20 a month.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And Josh has an affiliate link for
right.
joshworld.com/tweetadder. I'll soon have a course for that. I haven't finished it yet. I think I'm actually going to write a book. I think I've been pounding away every morning for about 15 minutes on this thing before I start client work, and I think it's probably up to several thousand. It's probably approaching 5,000 words at this point. So I think I might actually package it as a book and sell it, and then do at the end of the email funnel, or at the end of the 7-day course, do a buy the book and get the discount, and get the Tweet Adder discount kind of thing.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's a great idea. But
either that, or I'm probably also going to shop around an epic 5,000 word blog post like I did for King Sumo as well. So try to get Pat Flynn or Noah or somebody to publish another epic post and get some attention that way. But yeah, Derick, you've put a lot of people through that course, and are you able to track conversions at all? It's not working.
Yeah, it's not working at all. I think give me half a second, and I can tell you how many people have signed up from the end of that.
Is it on Drip or a different system?
Drip.
It's on Drip.
18 people.
In how long?
6 months.
Well, it's 17,000 or 1,700 subscribers,
okay.
Right? Now, you were also advertising that to worldwide, right, on Twitter?
Yeah, which is dumb.
Yeah,
I get 20 or 30 people a day doing that, but 99% of them, literally 99% of them, drop off at the end. I have a 1% conversion rate.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely following people, because you're targeting who you follow, will probably be effective, I think. Right. And then, are you doing a mini sale at the end?
I am giving them a discount code for a Watch Me Code subscription.
But does it have a limited time?
No. I don't have any way to do that.
So
I could lie to them and say you only have a week, but
no, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. And I'll tell you why it's not a lie. Because you're telling them that you're allowing them to use the code for that much time. Whether it's implemented physically in the system or not, and they cheat the system, you're making an agreement with them that I'm going to offer you this for 2 days. and don't make it a week. Make it 2 days and send emails on those continually those 2 days. Like send 2 or 3 emails during those 2 days and make it a mini sale. And later you can figure out the technical way to make it actually like generate a unique discount code. But honestly, it is not a lie if you are saying that this is what I'm offering you. Right? If someone goes and then tries to use the code later, that's up to them. But you are saying that your intent is to offer them for 2 days. So I wouldn't be.
There with my current setup, there is literally no way I can generate a new discount code for every person.
Well, don't just make it last. Just tell them that this is good for 2 days, or this offer is valid for 2 days, not the discount code, the offer, and that's like I said, it's up to them. But it doesn't matter because no one is going to do it after the 2 days anyway. Like it's not going to, like the point is that you're offering this thing as they've come off of this course for 2 days only. If they email you later and say, can I still get the discount? You can honestly say no.
Right.
And then if they try the code and it works, then okay, well that's a technical problem, but it's don't let that technical problem stop you from doing the best thing. Like you could always figure that out later if you wanted to. There's ways to do it. Like you can use a special code you generate every month or every week or something but I wouldn't even worry about that. Seriously, just make the offer, make it a limited time offer, 2 days. Don't give them a week, give them 2 days, and send 2, 3, probably 3 to 4 emails during that. And that's what's working really well for my course. I'm finding as well is I'm doing basically that, and I'm getting a pretty decent conversion over. Right now. So let me pull up my BPD sales. It's kind of hard to split it off, like to know exactly what the conversion rate is from the email. Well, I had to fix the conversion thing, but essentially, here's where I'm sitting at right now. There's a small ask on dates on the second week. So mine is a 3-week email course, right? So it takes classes go through on Mondays and Thursdays. But if we look at the month so far for January, because I think I started this mid-December, so we've got full data at this point. We've got like a couple of classes that graduated near the end or near the beginning of the month. On the Bluehost affiliate part, I've got 13 signups. So like 845, and then on DPD on selling my course, I've got $3,000 worth of sales already this month. So that's way more than I usually have. It probably double that. So I would, you can kind of try to estimate from there. But and then how many people came through it. So I can look at the total number of people that came through that are like on the follow-up. Which is 383 subscribers. So out of 383, 13 of them signed up for a blog, and probably how many sales is that? That's like, I would say that I could attribute 8 sales directly from the blogging course.
Right. And this is for a more expensive product.
Right.
So I'm also wondering, though, on the numbers that we're getting from you, Derick, are you seeing a consistent, much higher open rate through the whole thing, or are they falling off at the end?
No. My open rate, I've had the guys at Drip tell me that my open rate is incredibly high, and they are, looking at it going.
You're getting decent engagement through the whole course, and then at the end they just don't buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll show you the numbers.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we were asking the right questions.
So fixable.
Right? Yeah, that's totally.
The very first email that they get, what I call day 0, which lists the 5 rules, is at 78% open rate.
Oh wow! Holy cow!
The very last email, the day 5, is at 56%. And then there's a bonus tip after that, which is also at 56%. And my pitch email, you've mastered JavaScript this, now for the other landmines, is the open rate is also at 56%, but the conversion rate to of all of the emails in this course, of 1,700 people that have gone through this, my unsubscribe rate is less than 0.5% on average, except for that last pitch email is at 2.3% unsubscribe rate. And that's the very last email. That's the very last email.
Yeah.
And the open rate on that one is still 56%.
Right.
Yeah, see, so I would do what John is saying to do, and then, just see what you can change, because, I mean...
Right. So
Josh is saying this is really fixable, and it's got to be if you have 56% opening and 1% buying.
Right.
Yeah.
So my next question, do I continue to try to pitch them Watch Me Code subscription, or I like Josh's idea of bundling the JavaScript fundamentals package and making that a much more focused pitch, because it's a lot easier to transition them from this
well, you could do
to that bundle.
I think I would initially try just leaving it as it is and just create a landing page.
There.
Start here. Say, okay, you're gonna get all this and a bunch of other stuff. But make that page all about the JavaScript fundamentals.
Right.
And then pitch the other stuff as bonuses.
Yeah. So, you want to basically tell them the next step is, whatever the first JavaScript fundamentals video covers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so to continue your education this way, you've got to go sign up for Watch Me Code so you can start watching those videos now.
Yeah, and I've got a landing page for this already. Actually, I'm looking at it now. So it's, if you hit watchmecode.net/mastering this, all one word, it's not, the text on this is not focused enough, clearly.
So is that the landing page? What is it?
From the email. Watchmecode.net/mastering this.
Honestly, I think the biggest problem you have right now with the funnel, I mean, obviously there's some things we can do to tweak it to make it better, but I think it was the quality of the leads from the Twitter advertising.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest reason why your open rates are so high and your conversion rates are so low. I mean, not to say that there's more things that can be done. I'm almost okay. So I guess you should probably fix it, make it a 2-day sale or whatever, and send the extra emails as a start. But I'm almost thinking that it might be better to say at the end of that to pitch the JavaScript this package, because it's so specific to what they want. And then once they've bought that and they like it, then you have another pitch that's like, if you like these videos and give them a real good deal on it, then subscribe. And I've got a ton more videos, and you get them every week. And this is, you've taken one step towards boosting your career and becoming, now take the real step and get this on a continual basis, and you're going to grow as a, whatever, that whole pitch. And that might actually be, I don't know, you might have to test it, but I feel like that might be a stronger thing, because you're going to get the immediate sale, which is going to be immediate cash in your pocket. And then if they like those, like if they've liked this, if they've liked the email sequence, if they like the videos that they bought, then it's almost a no-brainer. Well, let's subscribe and get more. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think that's something you can A/B test.
Yeah, I think you'd have to test it. I mean, on one hand, you'd think continuity is harder to sell, so they're going to always have that in the back of their head. Oh, I'm going to get charged for this every month. But on the other hand, it's only $15 versus trying to get them to buy a package that'll probably, how much you probably sell that for, at least $50, right?
Yeah,
Derick?
probably $49.
Yeah, so it might be easier. I don't know. It's tough to say. You'd have to see what.
I actually find it easier to sell packages than subscriptions, honestly.
Yeah, I completely agree.
People are more willing to spend $50 one time than they are to spend $15 if they know that they have to cancel that $15 later.
Yeah, Perry Marshall hardly sells his monthly thing at all. It's a bolt-on. He gives it a 60-day free trial with every product he sells, and that's how he gets the continuity. It's not, it's not upfront sales.
And there's another variation of this too, which is you get this thing. I'm going to give you a really, really special discounted rate on this package, and when you do it, you'll automatically sign up for the Watch Me Code subscription. You can cancel after you download the package and whatever, but I mean, I don't know. It would be something to test out. The other piece of that I would say is this would lend itself really well to the package deal, because you're right. It's so hard to sell the subscription, but I myself, and hey, you guys have, because you guys bought Lead Pages, right? If they tried to sell it to you just on the monthly basis, you'd probably be like, but then when they say, oh, you're going to get, pay for 10 months, you just pay it one time and you're good. Mm-hmm. You've got Lead Pages for the year. To me, that's an easier sell because it's less thinking about it. It's like, okay, I'm just going to make one choice to buy it for the year. I don't have to do it next year, right? Mm-hmm. And then it could roll to the month to month, or you could say we're going to renew your annual again. But I don't know. I keep on bringing this up, but I feel like it is hard to sell monthly subscriptions. It's almost is difficult to sell a monthly subscription for $15 a month as it is for $50 a month, because the same thinking process. Although you make a lot more money for $50 a month, so it might be better to try this, to bundle this up and say, okay, buy 6 months, buy 1 year, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for now though, keeping it as simple as possible. So maybe doing the one-time purchase bundle, would that be relatively low effort for you?
Yeah, I could do that in a couple hours. Okay. I mean completely, like, revamp everything, rewrite the emails, everything within a couple hours. It'll take me about 30 minutes to put together the package, price it, get it uploaded. Well, it's actually already uploaded. I just have to put the package together inside of Easy Digital Downloads, and then go modify all the emails.
And then we need to think about some follow-up emails.
Yeah.
So because you should be hitting people, gosh, at least 3 or 4 times after the initial pitch.
Right. Yes.
With pitches, and you can sprinkle in more content, so it's not like pitch, but
right.
So you'd need like a few follow-ups, but yeah, I think that you are most of the way there with this, and we could push it over the finish line, and that would give you a nice little bump. That might be a good first step before diving into the backbone thing.
Yeah, it'd be a lot less investment than the backbone.
Because then you could test it for a while, because it's not going to be perfect. It's probably going to need some more work. So, but you could start doing your Twitter follows, and then push more people through that and see what happens. Give it a month or two, and then tweak it.
Yeah. Plus, this stops the bleeding, right? Because if you can at least plug up the hole so that you're not having attrition on your subscriptions,
right?
Then you can kind of leave that on pause for a while. It's fine. It's living. And you can move on to the things that will get you the cash quickly to pay off the debt, and then you can go back to it. But
yeah, but you're getting a 10% monthly churn basically, right? It's roughly, or 8%, something 8 to 10%.
Let's see.
It doesn't seem awful. I think some internal marketing. Yeah, some internal, some continual marketing, like John was. I really liked what John was saying about selling the value after. And this, it's in direct mail, it's called a stick letter. Like, a lot of times you can cut your refund rate way down if you send them a letter even before they get the product, and just reinforce the buying decision, because people have that the buyer's remorse. So if you can kind of fight that early on and tell them what a great decision they made, that can really, really help cut your refund rate down.
Yep. Yeah, actually, this company that makes these little robots for teaching kids how to program, it's pretty cool. It's called Wonder Workshop. When I bought these, they're kind of expensive. It's like $200 or $300 total for this thing. But they sent me 2 stick letters. Before the thing shipped out, they're like, "Oh, it's so awesome! You're gonna love it when you get it." Because they know that they have a refund policy on it, or a period. And so they did a really good job of it, because they gave me additional bonus content. I was psyched up before I got the thing. Then when I opened the thing, I'm like, it's a pleasant experience. Instead of me, I would imagine if I didn't get those 2 stick letters, what would have happened when I opened it? I would have been like, this is kind of expensive for this, as opposed to, oh, I'm excited to do the things that they had talked about. So.
Yeah, Edgar did the same thing, actually.
Yep.
Want to start a business, but you just know how to code. Listen to the EntreProgrammers, and we'll teach you straight up to be developer.